What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Good Vibes Podcast. Today we have our guest, one of our team members, Vivian Lara. She's been on our team for about couple of years today.
Like two?
Like 2 years, yes.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, today is a leap day.
Oh, sí, cierto.
Yeah,
It's leap.
we're recording on a day that is
We'll
not gonna
never
come back
record
anytime
in
soon.
4 years. Isn't it 4 years?
Every 4 years, yes.
We'll never record again in 4 years.
So, anyways, back to our guest, Vivian Lara. She's been in our team for about 2 years. She's barely 21 years old, and she's kicking some serious butt in real estate. So, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it was about time, right?
Yes, about time.
Uh,
We've been rescheduling.
I remember when I started the podcast, you said, "Hey, I want to be the very first one."
Yes, I remember because we even practiced. We did a play role.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be the first one. And I've been, what, like the fifth one?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's fine. It's close to one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Vivian, tell us obviously a little bit about you, your family, where you're from, a little, just a little history.
Okay. I am 21. My family's from Chihuahua. Both my mom and my dad.
¿De qué parte de Chihuahua?
Chihuahua.
Okay,
So,
del
like,
estado de Chihuahua.
Mi mamá nació en Cuauhtémoc, but she's from Chihuahua.
I lived in Chihuahua,
Really?
for about 8 years growing up. Yeah.
I've never been, pero pues mi familia todos son de allá.
Okay.
But that's one thing. I've never been to Mexico. 21.
You've never been to Mexico?
Never been to Mexico. No me dejan ir, mi mamá. Papá. But what else? My parents have been here for like 22 years, 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing much. Just got out of high school like what, 3 years ago.
We're
That's
done.
it. There's
Podcast
nothing
is over. All right.
over.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Thanks,
for
everyone.
joining.
There's nothing really interesting. I just feel like I'm like a regular just 20.
Well, there's a lot of things interesting. So let's dive in. Okay. So growing up, you grew up here in Phoenix, right? So born and raised.
Born and raised in Phoenix, yes.
Born and raised. Went to high school. Which high school did you attend?
I went to Metro Tech High School. It's
Okay.
like a very smaller, it's more on the
Small
smaller
high school.
end. Yeah.
Okay. And you graduated in what year?
Graduated 2021.
In 2020. Oh my God.
Yes.
I graduated in 2001.
Todavía ni
You
nacía.
were not even born. What's your date of birth?
October 31st, 2002.
Okay. Oh my
So,
God.
todavía no
Yeah.
nacía?
I was like
Yeah.
literally 70 years old at that point.
That's so crazy.
So you graduated in 2021, and before graduating high school, did you ever had any like a part-time job while attending school?
No, actually. My dad nunca me dejaba trabajar because he said that I would not focus in school because I would want to focus on getting money, right, for work. So being a real estate agent is my first job ever. Like, I've never worked anywhere else. I've always wanted to. Like, I remember I would apply secretly behind my dad's back.
Yeah.
And then I would submit, like, según a resume.
Yeah.
And then he would find out, well, where are you going? It's like, oh, I signed up here. He's like, no, like, you're going to school. So, nope, never had a job. This is my first job.
Well, props to your dad. He
Yeah.
wanted to get you, make sure that you concentrate on the,
Head straight.
yeah,
Yeah.
stay on the right track.
Mhm.
And so graduating high school 2021, what was going through your mind? Like, do I want to go to college? Do I want to, pursue anything in real estate? Because I remember you a couple of years ago, you wanted to get into wholesaling, right?
Yes.
So, like, what made you get into real estate? What was like the
So-
reason?
Okay, so what happened was I graduated during COVID year, right?
Mhm.
So pasó de que I had COVID. Me and my dad both got COVID at the same time. So it was at the beginning of January of 2021 or 22. I don't
Mhm.
know. Pero empezamos to
It
invest.
must have been 2022.
I think so, yeah. We started investing in the stock market.
Okay.
And then I started realizing that's like, hey, I'm making money. Like, I'm literally in my bed. Like, I'm not in school. Like, I'm making, how? You get me? So then we started investing more and more. And then we started getting more. So I was like, I need to do something. I was like, where I don't have to go anywhere. Y aquí estoy making money. You get me? So that's what kind of gave me the push to start looking into, like, real estate. And then seguía mucho a la gente en social media que, like, real estate this, real estate that. So I was like, yo creo que aquí es. Y luego después, I met some people for wholesaling. And to me, it looked easy, right? It's like, oh, you find a property, you pass it over to somebody, yeah. Pero,
assign it. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, 50K. Nada que ver. I was batallé, like, no encontraba nada. Like, I think for like a good couple of months. And then I had always like, oh, pues quiero la licencia para saber, you get me?
Right.
Pero nunca, never thought I would be like full traditional. Like a mí siempre me gustaba que eso de invertir, like investing, because that's how I started it kind of.
Yeah.
But that kind of came along y luego pues I got the license y luego pues I started, I don't know how I don't know how I came across you.
Okay.
I think I saw somebody followed you.
Must have been social media.
Yes, social media. Pero pues sí, nomás I started seeing that and I was like, oh, pues
Are you still investing in stocks?
No.
Not anymore?
I do every here and there, but like mi papá más bien, pero yo no. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like.
It's kind of like like a gamble,
It's
right?
like a gambling,
never know,
like you don't know. Like, hay dinero metido and I'm like, no, pues si lo saco pierdo. Like, I'd rather just leave it there.
Just leave it there, right?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Forget it exists.
Yeah, I remember you were posting about getting into wholesaling, and then I'm like, all right, well, it's cool. There's a lot of people that does wholesaling, and it's just a different aspect in real estate.
Yeah.
And when you got licensed, that's when I reach out. I'm like, hey, have you ever thought about actually doing it traditional?
You had told, I don't know if you remember, I texted you asking like for advice, and I was like, ¿qué? Y tú me dijiste, you were like, just focus on getting your license. And I was like, oh, okay. Y ya, así, ya nunca te mandé mensaje.
Yes.
And then until later when I posted that I passed my test,
yeah,
you were like, oh, meet me on Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, I remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, pues like whatever.
Yeah.
Nunca.
You're just like, all right. Well,
I was just like, oh, I'll just go a ver qué.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So when I reach out to you, Vivian, and well, by the way, anybody that calls me or texts me or messages me about getting into real estate, that's the first thing that I do. I tell them to just concentrate on getting their license because if you don't follow through with getting your license, what makes you think that you're gonna pursue real estate, right?
Yeah.
So that's why because before I used to sit down and I would explain the process, and I would take time away from everything that I was doing. Yes.
Yeah.
So now it's a great industry, but every time somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, Ruben, how do I get started?"
I want to get started, yeah.
Get your license first, right?
Yeah.
Because our team concentrates on mainly traditional real estate, right? So I will push them to get their license first, then we'll have that conversation.
Well, it makes the most sense. Because it's kind of like, well, without the license, you can't really do anything.
Yeah. So since I've been doing real estate for many, many years, and you've been doing it for the last 2 years, how does that feel? Like, I know separating wholesaling from traditional real estate, it's very different, right? The rewards, even though we put in tons of work, the rewards are a little bit different. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about like
it's more heartwarming.
Yes.
Like, porque sí veía what we had to do in wholesaling, y sí me daba lástima. Because I'm like, le tienes que no robar el dinero, pero o sea, bajarle. You get me? And then over here, it's kind of like, well, how can I help you? Like, can I get more of this for you, more of this for this? Or, and they get their keys and it's more heartwarming.
Yeah.
It's more like te sientes bien de lo que estás haciendo. It actually you feel proud.
Right? When you meet with this family, they're super excited about, buying their house or maybe selling their house and, moving on to the next stage.
Or it's like the connection you make with them, that it's kind of like, a mí me toca mucho donde, pues, me, because I'm a little more, like, joven. You're not old, but just like,
saying.
Yes. Como las señoras me dicen, like, mija.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so, like, I don't know, or like me abrazan, like, ay, muchas gracias, mija, and like, que Dios te bendiga, and they hug me, and it's kind of like, no sé, me da como...
It's a nice feeling.
Yes, como que no me las quiero abrazar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, being 21 and being very successful in real estate for the time you've been doing this, just to kind of give a lot of our audience an idea of what it takes to get to this point. Like, being super young, and having some real success in real estate. Like, what is it that how do you maneuver, you being such a young age and being so, I'll say, very on point, right? Of your sketch or what needs to be done in order to be successful in real estate. Like,
how do I like maneuver both?
Maneuver, yeah.
So, I just tell myself, like, everything that I'm doing now, is later's reward. So si ahorita, right now, if let's say I want to have fun right now, I'm going to suffer later. Or it's like if I suffer now, I'm going to have fun later. So, and then I always think about it. I always try to think. So I'm young. So then I also try not to like limit myself too much because I'm like, I don't want to work,
Right.
where I don't have a life, where I don't, I look back and I'm like, well, I never did anything. I mean, no. So it's like, I do time block where it's like, okay, I'm going to get this done so I can go there. Or I have to do this and then I can do that.
So that's your reward, right?
That's my reward,
Like,
yeah.
hey, I'm going to work hard like this whole week.
Or I'm like, I want to go to a concert. I want to go on a trip. But it's like, well, no, let me wait until I get 5 more escrows and then that'll be my reward. Like, then I'll go. You know what I mean?
How was it closing your first transaction in real estate?
My first transaction was actually a dual agency.
Okay.
Yes, and it was with you. It felt like I couldn't believe it. Like, it didn't feel, I don't know. I just
Like,
couldn't believe. I was like,
we just got it done?
it's done. It was like a 2-week close and then it was like cash. And I was like, it's done? Like, that's it? It felt good. I remember I cried when I got my check.
You did?
Yes, because I had never gotten a check to my name. Like, never, ever, ever.
That was like literally your
That was
first check.
my first check ever. And I remember I called my dad and I was like, I got paid. Like, I got a check like this. And I showed him and he was like, oh my God, like, congratulations. And it was just like it was more like a me personal thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you always wanted a job and never had a job.
And I always wanted to get paid somehow. Like, nunca me había llegado un cheque to Vivian Lara.
Yeah.
Y cuando me llegó el cheque, I was like, it's real. Like, I can make money. Like, no nomás me estoy aquí gastando el tiempo, you get me?
Right.
And it was, I remember I started in January. Y es como que estaba batallando to get something. Like, I couldn't. I remember my dad would even tell me, like, hey, like, you're not doing anything. Like, you don't want to get a job, maybe. Like,
so now he was pushing you
yes,
to
he was
do
pushing
something,
me
right?
towards the beginning when I first started. He's like, you don't want to get a job, maybe. Like, you know, you got to start your own stuff. Like, porque mi papá siempre, pues, he took care of us. So then, obviously, he's like, hey, pues, ya te toca, like, tus cosas,
help
you know?
out, yeah.
Y le decía, like, no, like, I'm not going to get a job. Like, just give me some more time. Give me, like, 2 more months. Like, I promise, like, algo va a salir de aquí.
Yeah.
So, cuando salió the first check, like, I was, like, bawling my eyes out.
Like, this is it.
I was like, this is it. Y le mandé una foto. I was like, best, like, you should have waited.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great feeling. And now, that was, like, one of your first transactions. What about going through the whole process with the family that is actually buying their first home? How was that?
So the first transaction wasn't very, very, it was a dual agency.
It was very fast.
It was fast. So my second one, it was like an actual family. It was actually really fun. Like, I enjoyed it. But okay, I was helping them, but at the same time, I was learning myself. So it was very, like, it was a whole process. Like, it was very
enjoyable process.
Yeah. And the family was super nice. It was actually a Zillow lead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And super nice. I still like
keep in touch with them. And that's the best part, you know, once you start building these relationships with your clients, as long as you keep staying in front of them, you know, and you did a great job, I'm sure they're going to come back to you over and over again. And that's when it gets really rewarding, right? When people are like, hey, I want to go with Vivian because, you know, she's awesome. She's great. She has amazing work ethic, and I want to continue doing business with her. When it comes to, you know, eventually moving or going somewhere else or referring you to, you know, their
or it's like
friends
when they
and
come back, they already know how you work. You already know how they work. Or when they refer someone to you, they kind of already put the word in for you. So you guys already kind of have that connection. Yeah.
So what has been the biggest highlight of, you know, being, you know, in real estate at such a young age, besides, you know, helping families? What has been like the biggest highlight so far?
The biggest highlight of being in real estate, like so young. I don't want to say the money because like I'm not used to like the kind of money.
Well, I can direct you to the highlight, which I'm sure that's what it is.
Well, what do you mean?
So Vivian, just for those that don't know her or getting to know her, her parents have been renting for how many years, Vivian?
22 or 23 years.
23 years as a renter, okay? And I know one of the conversations that Vivian told me from the very beginning, like, hey, eventually I want to buy a house for my parents.
Right? I've been saying.
I mean, that's a huge highlight right there.
Yeah.
And you didn't buy just a house; you bought a nice acre lot property, right?
Yeah.
So within 2 years of being in this industry, when did you close?
I closed October 12th
of
2023.
So shout out to Vivian. She actually achieved her goal of getting her parents out of their rental that were there for 20 plus years and getting into now your current home, right?
Yes.
So was that a pretty cool highlight?
Yeah, it was very cool because it's very yo tenía pues esa meta for years. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna pay it back. I'm gonna pay it back like a house, you know?
Yeah.
Y mi mamá siempre decía, pues yo quiero mi casita. I'll take care of it. It's my turn, you know? So
you got there, you were able to create the income needed. You were able to get the credit score needed. And now you guys are your parents' new house.
Yes.
And I'm sure the landlord from the previous house misses them a lot because, I mean, having a tenant for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He was very, very nice. He was very super heartwarming. He was very happy for us. He was very upset to let us go, obviously.
Of course.
But he was upset, but he was very happy because he's like, well, like he saw me grow up since I was in kinder.
That's crazy.
And then he's always been a very close like landlord to us. Like he would check in with us, like, and everything. We would take care of the house for him. So yeah. It was hard. It was bittersweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was your parents like feeling when you actually made it happen?
I remember. So that house, yo la había visto by myself. And I was like, I really like this for us. Like, I like it. But then I was like, it's too far out of my reach. Like, there's no way. So I remember I recorded it. I posted it on TikTok. And I was like, whatever. If I can't buy it, at least I'll try to sell it, you know? Y luego un día, we were going to go see a terreno. And then I told my parents, like, hey, there's this really nice house down the street here. I was like, you guys don't want to go check it out? And then I was like, we can just go and see, you know? And they're like, yeah, let's go. Y cuando entramos, like, seeing my mom's, like, reaction and, like, excitement of, like, me gusta mucho la casa, like, this, and that. It, like, lit, like, a fire under my butt. And I was like, okay, like, whatever I have to do, like, I'm gonna do it. Like, if I have to sacrifice on my stuff, like, it's fine, you know? So I remember I texted my lender and I was like, dude, what do I have to do? Like, anything I have to do, like, just tell me. So we did have to kind of wait. It was hard, like, to do everything because it was a
Get pre-qualified, going through a non-QM loan, and going through the process.
So, I don't know. I remember, too, when I had them see the house, of course, to make sure they liked it because I was like, no voy a comprar una casa y no les gusta y ya me valí.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, they knew we were in the process, but they didn't know when we were getting the keys. And I remember taking my dad. I had to go check out some repairs, and I met my dad there. And then he was telling me, like, I can't believe, like, we're doing this. Like, I can't believe you're able to do this, like, by yourself. Like, you're helping us. And I remember my dad started tearing up. And I've never really seen my dad cry for, like, stuff like that.
By the way, I've been wanting to meet your parents. Haven't met them yet.
You haven't met them yet. They know a lot about you.
Okay.
So I remember he started, like, tearing up. Y es cuando me dio como my, like, it's when it was my, like, moment of, like I'm really doing it. Like, I'm getting there, you know what I mean? So it was very shocking. Like, I couldn't believe it.
So now that your parents are homeowners along with yourself, for those that they've been a little bit on the fence, you know, because of the market, the rates, you know, there's always the you know, being afraid of getting into that kind of commitment. What do you suggest or advise to those individuals that are still kind of debating about actually pulling the trigger and moving forward?
So if you're debating on to just buy the house or not, the house is yours at the end of the day. Whatever the market is, the house is yours, right? It's a huge investment. It's a huge opportunity. It's very different going from renting to owning, but it's just knowing that that opportunity is there, that asset is there. You know, it's yours. So
it's an asset.
It's an asset, yeah. So you don't want to see it as an investment right now. You don't want to be like, oh, when's my money gonna grow? No, you just live there. You like the house. You're making memories. Later down the road, you're gonna appreciate what you did a couple years later.
Right.
So, yeah.
And you get to depreciate your on taxes.
Yes,
So
you
it
get
kind of
that
helps
too.
out.
It helps. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, when you're buying a house for your family to create those memories and be there for years to come, you know, you either gonna pay somebody else's mortgage or you're gonna pay your own,
Or pay your
right?
own, yeah.
So I mean, I always say, you know, just get into your house, be happy, be there for
Don't worry about anything else. Just get
Yeah.
into your house, be happy,
Yeah.
live your life.
right.
Down the road, you'll
You
be
know,
happy you did it.
Exactly. And every time that I have helped someone purchase their house, you know, 5, 10, 15 years later, they have a tons of equity that they can, you know, cash out, reinvest it, do whatever they want.
Sometimes you don't even know you have that equity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like buying stocks, right? And you forget
Yeah,
about them.
and you forget about them later on. You look back and
Like, oh, nice.
you're rich again.
Yeah. So no, home ownership is always huge.
Yeah.
And more when like you want to have a stable place to live, right?
You want to be comfortable too, not worried about they're gonna up the rent, they're gonna kick me out, they want me to do this to the house or
Right.
just-
So
yeah.
you have so many uncertainties.
yeah, you do.
When you're renting, as opposed of actually owning your house, and you're like, hey, nobody's gonna tell me what to do, right?
Yeah.
Besides, you know, living under a homeowners association, but that's a little bit different. But it's still your house, you know.
It's still yours,
you,
yeah.
You know, you don't have to ask for any permission if you want to paint it certain colors or make any changes to the house. So that's awesome.
Yeah. It's very different.
Congratulations to you and your parents.
Thank you.
So what's next for Vivian Lara?
What's next for Vivian Lara? I want to buy a truck.
All right, that's a good goal.
Yeah, I've been seeing some, and I'm like, I want a truck. Like, I just want.
What is it that you like?
I like Ford. Like, I like a Raptor.
You like the Raptor? Raptors are nice.
But I don't like the regular Raptor. I like the Raptor R.
Okay.
Or like the Shelby truck.
Okay.
Like, quiero algo así.
Well, you know,
Pero también caras.
bien caras y mucha
Sí.
gasolina.
Oh, yeah, sí. But
Hey, but you know, if like here's the thing. Once you set yourself a goal and you know you're gonna work hard for it, and then
Yes.
you achieve it, that will push you to go to your next goal. Like what's next, right?
that's nice. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's materialistic or not, right? I mean, it's a goal that you want to achieve. You get to your goal, and then you push for the next goal in mind, right?
Yeah.
So that can be another car, another house, an investment.
Yeah.
You know, you name it.
Yeah. I want to get a little more into investing now.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick to my traditional, but it's like, okay, now what do I do? What can I do to grow it?
Right.
I need something else.
Exactly.
I can't just rely on here.
No, I mean, the thing is that as you continue to grow in this career, in this business, then you start seeing different opportunities.
Yes.
So being aware of the opportunities that you have around you, it's the biggest thing. And a lot of people they concentrate on just one thing only.
One thing, yeah.
But they, you know, as they continue to grow within the business, they don't see the other opportunities that are out there.
They're like presented to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's why we made a huge move to EXP, our
true.
team just recently, just because
Yes.
of opportunities, right? And like, there's opportunities out there that sometimes we just don't see them or not paying attention to, unless
Or we're kind of like oblivion to it. It's kind of like, oh, but whatever.
It's not for
Yeah,
me,
it's not
right?
for me.
But
Yeah.
then you see others doing it, you're like,
How?
how,
Yeah.
how can I get there?
Yeah.
Right? So it's awesome. So Vivian, how can people find you if they're looking to work with Vivian Lara for buying or selling, or maybe any advices, because you're super young, very successful. I know there's a lot of younger people that they look up to those who are doing the right thing, and I'm sure you are doing the right thing. So how can they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram and TikTok. Both my Instagram and TikToks are Vivian_AZ Realtor. And my phone number, best way to contact me, 602-488-3571.
So reach out to Vivian if you guys are thinking about buying or selling, or any suggestions if you wanna get into real estate, or if you're a realtor who are thinking about making a move. Reach out to her. Let her explain her story. You know, you can also reach out to me as well. We'll be happy to
Happy to help.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be here to help out. And with that being said, Vivian, thank you for joining our episode number 5.
Me. Yes, thanks for having me.
Continue being successful. Continue kicking some serious butt, and continue, you know, following that path that your dad.
Yes.
You know, I know your dad has been, you know, the one telling you, like, what about your mom? Is she pretty strict too, or no?
No, they're not that strict anymore.
Okay.
They used to be very strict, but I think once I got into this, they're a little more easygoing. But they are very like, hey, they do notice where it's like, hey, I went to a concert, now I'm going to a game. Now they're like, hey,
cálmate.
watch
Cálmate.
yourself, watch
Like
yourself.
Justin says,
Yes, cálmate. Me dice. Or they'll be like, hey, or they'll be, if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go here this weekend for a getaway. Oh, is everything from work aligned? Like, do you have everything in order? Do you have who's gonna take care of your showings or anything? I'm like, yes, like everything's under
taken
control.
care of.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They do make sure that I'm on top of it too.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, they hold you accountable.
They hold me accountable. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you for joining episode number 5. Vivian, once again, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah. Till next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share if you like these episodes. And we are going to have more to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.